There is a terrifying possibility. Time is not moving faster. You are simply remembering less of your life. When you were a child, one summer could feel endless. A single afternoon could stretch forever. The walk home from school felt like a journey. A week felt like a chapter. A year felt like a lifetime. But now, months disappear. Birthdays arrive too soon. January becomes June. June becomes December. And suddenly, another year is gone before you even understood what it was. Most people say the same thing. Time flies when you get older. But that sentence hides something darker. Because maybe time does not speed up. Maybe your brain starts deleting more of you. At first, life is full of firsts. Your first room, your first fear, your first friend, your first heartbreak, your first time realizing that adults do not know everything. The brain pays attention because the world is new. Every street corner is information. Every face is a mystery. Every mistake becomes a memory. Novelty slows time down. Not because the clock changes, but because the mind records more. A childhood day feels long because your brain is collecting evidence that you exist. But then, something strange happens. Life becomes familiar. You wake up in the same room, check the same phone, walk the same streets, say the same things, see the same walls. Your brain begins to recognize the pattern. And once it recognizes the pattern, it stops recording every detail. It compresses the day, like a file that has become too predictable to save. And this is where everything changes. The days still happen, but fewer of them become memories. You live them. You answer messages. You eat. You work. You scroll. You sleep. But later, when you look back, there is almost nothing there. Not because nothing happened, but because nothing was new enough to be remembered. That is the disturbing part. Your life may feel shorter because less of it is being stored. A year full of repetition becomes a blur. A year full of novelty becomes a story. And modern life has made this worse. We are surrounded by stimulation, but starved of memory. Thousands of images pass through your eyes. Hundreds of thoughts pass through your head. Notifications, videos, messages, noise. But most of it leaves no mark. It feels like living, but often it is only passing through time. And this is the part almost nobody talks about. The more automatic your life becomes, the faster it seems to vanish. Routine is useful. It protects energy. It makes life easier. But it also turns days invisible. You do not remember brushing your teeth this morning because your brain did not need to. You do not remember every meal, every drive, every scroll, every ordinary conversation. The brain saves what is strange, emotional, dangerous, beautiful, painful, or new. Everything else disappears into the background. So when people say, "Where did the time go?" the answer may be more frightening than they expect. It went somewhere. You were there, But your brain did not keep the receipt. And now comes the existential part. This is not really about time. It is about attention. Because attention is the doorway through which life becomes memory. And memory is the only proof we have that a moment stayed with us. Without attention, life does not feel lived. It feels skipped, like pages turned too quickly in a book you meant to read. This is why childhood feels so large. Not because it was happier, not because it was better, but because you were awake to more of it. You noticed the dust in the sunlight, the smell of a classroom, the sound of footsteps in a hallway, the strange shape of clouds, the feeling that the future was enormous. Then adulthood slowly trained you to stop noticing, to hurry, to optimize, to repeat, to survive. Until one day, you look back and realize something chilling. You did not lose time all at once. You lost it quietly, one unnoticed day at a time. But maybe there is a way back. Not to childhood, not to the past, but to the feeling that life is still happening. Do something unfamiliar. Walk a different way. Ask a real question. Look longer. Listen harder. Put the phone down before the moment disappears, because the brain remembers what wakes it up. And maybe the goal is not to live longer. Maybe the goal is to stop letting so much of life pass unrecorded. Because in the end, time does not only move through clocks, it moves through memory. And a life you do not notice is a life that disappears while you are still inside it.